This would absolutely make my kids unhappy if I didn't say I have a much more important job of being a mom of two. I think a fun fact, my older one, my 11-year-old, saw my LinkedIn profile and said, how come you don't have mom in your title? And I was like, that's a very important point.
That's very important, and that's a full-time job. I'm your host, Jaskar. Joining me today is Akancha Aggarwal, the Senior Director of GTM at NetApp.
This is my third leg of career, as they say. I started as a rocket scientist, became a trader on Wall Street, back at Lehman Brothers during the financial crisis. Been in technology for the last decade and a half and more now.
What kind of feel you have for this shift, which we all are seeing right now?
Absolutely, I do think that these signals that the AI can provide by taking in the data and the engagement with our customer across platforms is absolutely something very valuable that all CROs think about. I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a customer that is suddenly increasing your product usage in a specific module, in a specific solution. Mm-hmm. That signal should instantly trigger whether your CSM teams, whether your SDR teams, and it should not be 3 to 4 weeks later.
Absolutely. I think signals are real-time behavioral or, contextual data. And the example which you gave is product usage is pretty relevant. So other examples like prospect is viewing your page, customer slowing down the usage, or any a lead engaging with a competitor, any of these information, right? So AI is really helping us detect micro signals, turn into the actionable insight. If you could track 3 signals in your GTM, top 3, what it would be?
If I were to pick 3, I would say intent, engagement, and stickiness or retention. The way you measure that, right? At the end of the day, if we can move away from leads to outcomes, engagement to retention.
The linear GTM is the loop. It's not no more linear. So capturing signals across touch points and analyze them, and like how you mentioned, then trigger actions, and it can be real-time actions as well. So this turns GTM into much more breathing system now. How long it's going to take to integrate all of these sections together?
Well, I hope it would be done today or yesterday. It is kind of a race to the first here, right? Race to the finish line. I think there are 2 things we have to look at that just. One is actual systems and infrastructure integration. Right. You're in that space, so you understand like how difficult it is still for organizations to integrate. Mm-hmm. It's about how do we make our human more effective and more productive. And I think that's an easier conversation than let's hand over the keys of the kingdom to AI. That's where the trust factors of the behavioral change becomes very important.
I was reading through one of the posts of yours where you have mentioned about in AWS you had some kind of telemetry loop and all of that and implemented some kind of signals. So talk more about it.
One of the things that we built kind of earlier on is that customer 360 health scoring dashboard. This is before, by the way, AI became AI as we know it now. If you're measuring churn rate or retention rate, right, that's a lagging indicator. The churn has already happened.
Yes.
So you want to get ahead of time.
What is one thing which will tell all the leaders, those who are planning to have GTM redefined altogether?
Don't wait for playbooks to be written. Write your own playbook. And that will come by taking some risks, taking some experiments, failing in the process.
First one is start small, understand what you have to do, pick up the use case, test, go ahead. Second is people. Third is measure. Very, very important points.